And welcome back again. Yours truly, Anthony Parker Alexander of Keeping It Honest. Midnight at the Oasis. We thank you for supporting our show. I kind of feel like Don Lemon. If you start looking at the Don Lemon streaming show, this guy's on a lot of times, and he's from CNN. He's got the money. He usually does things at his home, and some of the shows are pretty good. I'm kind of a fan of his, but he's kind of changed since he went to streaming. But I like how he's starting to come out and develop as an independent content provider slash journalist. And that's what yours truly is also doing too. So good night, good morning, midnight at the Oasis. What we do in this show, we try to give you the news of the day, what happened today, what's happening tomorrow, and give you a recap and a preview of things to come. You have any comments or questions, you can email yours truly. It's parkerman2011 at gmail.com, parkerman2011 at gmail.com. Telephone number is 216 702 3718. 216 702 3718. Don't forget to hit the like and share and subscribe button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. It's interesting, as I've seen with streaming, is that you can have, I don't know, maybe 200,000 people watch you. Out of that 200,000 people, maybe 20,000 people like you. And out of that, maybe 20 people subscribe. So, me, like all streamers, let's get those numbers up. When you do like the show, you like the shorts, you like the longs, hit the like button, which is good, but also the subscribe and notification buttons on there. I'm still trying to figure out how that all works. So that way, when I do these shows, you'll know to tune in. So, like this show, usually it's going to be 12 o'clock at night, midnight, get it, at the Oasis. And it could be between a 5 minute to who knows how long show. All depends on what we do. But at least you'll stay tuned and you'll get all the updates. And also go to my Patreon page where you can support 3 tiers of what we do in our show. So I've got my hot tea right here. We're only going to be here for a couple minutes. It's been a long, interesting day. We have done 2 live stream shows. We did one earlier today when we were talking about, man, the VP candidate. Are you impressed with that VP candidate? I got my notes here. There's a lot of notes. But the VP candidate, and I like the middle name, Timothy James Watts. So Tim Watts, governor. Yes, he's a governor. They decided to go after a governor. Can you guess which state? Hmm? Well, let me see right here. Governor of Minnesota. Anybody been to Minnesota? Let me know. I don't even know anything about Minnesota, but he's been the governor for 2 terms. So Kamala, she picked him. She's only been running for president for about 16 days. She only was able to pick the vice presidential candidate 3 days. So running for president, 16, picking the VP candidate, 3 days. So they got on stage for about an hour or so. She introduced him, and he stood behind her and everything. And I guess they seem okay. We'll know more about it as the days transpire. But their first um, time together, it wasn't that bad. He was a bulldog. He went after J.D. Vance big time, and he went after Donald Trump. So you wonder how this, if they win, this presidency is going to be. You're gonna have a Kamala who's the people that vote for her. I don't know if it's going to be black men because a lot of black men haven't liked her because she imprisoned a lot of black men um, in her previous position. Um, will she get the black women vote? I'll say maybe because she'll get the sorority vote definitely, and that would have been um, Cornel West's vote. If he'd went out to the black colleges, I mentioned that to him. Not that I was telling him what to do, but I kind of was telling him what to do. Go out to those black colleges, get some of those people, those very intellectuals. So like hers, she's getting intellectuals, but she's getting the sisters, the sororities. And if she's getting the sororities, I'm wondering if she's going to get the fraternities, the men's. I don't know. Is she going to get the lower income black women? If they're voting, they might get her. Biden got like I think 90% of the African American vote. So who says that she won't get that same amount? Maybe she won't get the men. Maybe those men will go to Trump. Where will the white men go? I think the white men would probably go to Trump too. Where will the soccer moms? I think the soccer moms though might go to her. Now she has different categories of so and so for Kamala. She got white men for Kamala, white women for Kamala. Um, they have blacks for Trump. The last time he ran, I think he had 8% of the vote. This time he's getting about 14%. He's going to get the rule. You know, he's going to get the rule because of it's him and because it's J.D. Vance. Which ones have the more story to tell where they can pull their heartstrings? I think J.D. Vance because he talks about how he was started from scratch, literally in the country. But then some people say, well, okay, country boy, now you're a city rich boy. Um, but then some people say, well, you know what? He earned his way up. With Watts, we still don't know a lot about him. He's a war man, war hero. He was a school teacher. He was in the reserves for 24 years, so he loves his country. He has kids. Um, he is for the LGBTQ community. I don't think Vance is. I don't think Trump is. And I think she is. Um, where would those groups go? The LGBTQ community. Who are they more prone to vote for? Are they more prone to vote for Trump, or are they more prone to vote for? And I just forgot her name. The lady that's running for president. It's been a long day. We've had a long show. Um, where do you think these votes will go? Who do you think will win? Is it a close race? Supposedly there's like 6 states that are close. I'm drinking hot tea. With Kamala and Donald Trump, the debates, you look at this. You saw how Donald Trump went to the National Association of Broadcast journalists, and they interviewed him. He went into a lion's den. Some people think he failed, other people said he did good. I know one thing: if you ask him a question, and if you come at him wrong, he's going to use that. That was rude. That was a rude question. Even though the question may have been rude, it may have been the interpretation of it. So every time they asked another question, he would kind of go back. I almost liked her question. I like yours because yours was rude. You were rude. But I'm going to take your question because you were good to me on Fox, but you're ABC. Fake news, George Stephanopoulos. And you kind of laugh and you get off the subject of what you asked him. But can you picture Kamala and Donald Trump debating? That's going to be a very tough one. One thing I forgot to do, say a prayer for our show and people watching and the rewatch. Dear Lord, we thank you for viewing this show. We pray that, as with every show, we all learn something and we go on with it and make our day in what we learn. Amen. Quick prayer. Thank you again, like I said, for watching the show. We're going to have a prayer every day. And if you'd like to contact me about stuff you'd like to see on the show, you can do my voicemail. You can text me 216-702-3776. 3718 216 702 3718. It's a little cold here tonight, but it's been a long day. That's my tea I'm drinking. So we did a show early this afternoon when they were announcing who the VP was. They did it early this morning. Networks were at the guy's house. We're at all the people's houses, trying to wait to see who was going to be the person. Excuse me. We kind of knew who that person was going to be, but you know what? We did not, because we saw clips going out that had Shapiro on there, and they said I think I said this yesterday, that they didn't want those clips because I thought yesterday Shapiro was going to be the pick because they put those videos out saying that he was the pick. So I don't know if they got some kickbacks because he's Jewish and they didn't know how to deal with the demographics and said, okay, well, we changed our mind and then got him. But I remember we were doing the show yesterday. I said, yeah, you know what? He's gonna be the one that they're gonna pick. John Shapiro is gonna be the one that we're gonna pick, not Mark Webb. And they didn't pick him. Did Kamala change her mind? Kamala change her mind at the last minute and say we're gonna go with somebody else? After Biden dropped out, who knows what could happen? And you know what was funny? That at their talk tonight, which I thought was interesting, um, Watts talked about. Well, it wasn't Watts. I forget. It was somebody else. The Republicans talked about. It was J.D. Vance. He talked about, okay, well, I don't know if I'm going to be debating Watts yet because basically they could do another bait and switch. Okay, because I said they sent out this accidental clip supposedly promoting Shapiro and Kamala. And I played it on a short too, so everybody kind of thought it was going to be, Shapiro. And I was watching this thing today when they were presenting Walsh, and there was this man. I didn't get a chance to see his name, but I think afterwards that was Josh Shapiro, young guy, kind of like an Obama kind of person, very charismatic. He would be a great VP for somebody else, or maybe 4 years from now, maybe a great vice president. Has that charisma. He's governor. People love him. He came walking, and he's walking doing this, that, walking everywhere and doing this. Thank you. Thank you very much. Maybe I should start doing that when I do my show. Thank you. Thank you very much. And he looked humble, but he's probably making a lot of money. He had a nice suit on, no tie. And he's like, I love you. I love you guys. I love you. I love you. Doing all this. And and if you notice certain people, when they do this, or, take off the glasses. Thank you. Thank you. I'm telling you. Okay? I'm like, who is this guy? But he was Josh Shapiro, I found out. And I'm like, wow, so did he drop out because of his, he's Jewish? People are going to look into that some next days and everything. But overall, Kamala came on, gave her background of who she was, gave his background and presented him. Then he gave her background, then gave his background. Then he started talking about Trump, and then he started talking about J.D. Vance. And earlier we played a clip today about J.D. Vance saying it's the worst pick ever. I don't know if it's the worst pick ever. I don't know if it's the best pick ever. Well, you know what? It might be because there's president and vice president, and he's not your traditional vice presidential pick because, like I said, he's kind of like a mad dog. Okay, but if you remember when George Bush, his vice presidential running mate, I can't forget his name, but he's the one that they always said he really was in charge, but he was a stoic guy. It was like you just don't mess with him. I can't remember his name. I'll have to probably tell you tomorrow if I remember. Um, but Kamala and Waltz is going to be interesting. So then you picture Waltz debating J.D. Vance and his record. So Watts is going to say, you act like you're this grassroots boy, but you ain't a grassroots. And Vance may say, well, you know what? You're for so and so. And then Watts may say, well, you're a flip flopper. And then JD may say, well, in your state, it was the word so and so. But then Watts may say, well, I gave free lunches and I help people with military benefits. So you're going to hear, and then you're going to hear the sordid, controversial stories, which we'll talk about in some days, um, and some stuff you may not have heard. And do we really know Kamala? Well, now, do we really know Kamala? Do we really know Tim Walz? We know Trump. And do we know J.D. Vance? And what is that term? The devil you know is better than the devil you don't know. So we don't know Kamala, but we know Trump. Who do you go with? And I saw this commercial, this ad. I think I played it on one of my shows, and it's a great looking ad with Trump and everything. Presentation is beautiful, whether Republican or Democrat. It's just a good looking commercial. But the bad thing about it was the voice. The voice sucked. The narrator sucked. It should have been in a brand new day, in a brand new world. Republicans and Democrats will be together. They will be as one. They won't just be unified, they will be the United States of America. Dun dun dun. So the commercial guy's voice just sucked. But check it out. It's an ad with Donald Trump. Looks good. Graphics are great. Never seen one like that before. But the voice is bad. And you would think, wow, for all the money that they have, why didn't they have like, a Morgan Freeman or whoever has a deep voice doing the narration on that commercial? So we don't have that long until election day, and it is going to be fast and furious. I hope nobody catches me bad on that. Until election day. And news is going so fast. Hold on one second. As I'm doing this, I remind myself of that Scott Adams guy that has his show with the coffee cup. He does it in the daytime, and I'm doing this at night. But news is going so fast that you kind of can't catch up with news. Olympics almost ending. Simone Biles, one of the greatest athletes ever. You look at that girl, a young lady, and she's just great in what she does. Basketball. USA basketball is doing pretty good. The cool thing is seeing some of these stars unite and beat the other countries. Swimming was great. We'll talk about swimming the next couple of days. I can't remember the names of the people. We haven't really talked about the opening of the Olympics. We're going to go into detail on that. Not tonight, though. Let me know what piques your interest, too. Text me 216-702-3718. 216-702-3718. We'll start reading some of these texts from some of the things that we've talked about and some of the things that you viewers have talked about. And thank you for supporting us. So how do you think this election is going to turn? What's the next thing? Oh, yeah, Democratic convention is coming up soon. So Kamala now is officially running for president. But not the vice presidential guy yet. He's not officially running. You have to be officially nominated. So Waltz hasn't yet. So there might be a chance for me. Wow. How do you think this pick was? Let me know. Let's stay in contact. I appreciate how you guys have left me a lot of messages throughout some of the shows. I have shorts. I have medium form shows, I've got long form shows. Again, my shorts are like 5 seconds to a minute, 2 minutes. My mediums are 20 to 30. My longs are an hour to maybe 2.5 hours. But as you'll tell when you go on, my page, that I put a lot of work into this. I'm just keeping it honest. So then go to my Patreon page and type in "Keeping It Honest" after you go to Patreon.com and have 3 tiers of what you can contribute funds to. And it's kind of like a PBS. You keep us going. You support us. You become part of our family. As I grow, you grow. We want to continue to show the growth of this. People are surprised at how fast we have grown, but it's because of you. It's because of the interaction. It's because of the comments, and just keep them coming. Just keep them coming. We're going to start reading some of those comments on the air, and I'll have fun on that too. So that's it for tonight. Tomorrow we're going to talk about, in the daytime, we're going to talk about, well, what happened at this rally, their first rally, and things that are happening the rest of the day. So we'll probably be back tomorrow, midnight at the Oasis, 12 o'clock, where we talk about the stories of the day before us, where we talk about the stories of the day that was after us. So, in closing, keep your head up, never look down, always believe in yourself, and therein will lie your answer. So remember, we had a show today earlier with the announcement of the VP pick. We had a show today again live where we looked at the rally and reviewed it. And then we have our Midnight at the Oasis right now. So I thank you for supporting us. Have a good night. Have a good morning. We will talk again. We don't just keep it simple. We don't just keep it real. We keep it honest. I'm Anthony Parker Alexander. God bless.